The chains around Cole's wrists were made of some metal he had never seen before. They glowed with a soft blue light and felt cold against his skin. He stood alone in the center of a massive circular chamber. The walls rose so high that he could not see where they ended. Thousands of alien faces stared down at him from floating platforms that circled the room like rings around a planet. Was the first human to ever stand in the High Court of the Galactic Federation. He wished the circumstances were different. He wished he was here as an ambassador or a guest. Instead, he was here as a criminal. A murderer, they called him. The word felt like poison every time he heard it. The silence in the chamber was heavy and thick. Could hear his own heartbeat. He could feel the hatred coming from the aliens above him. They looked at him like he was something dirty, something dangerous, something that needed to be destroyed. 3 months in their prison had taught him that most species in the Federation viewed humans as little more than intelligent animals. A booming voice filled the chamber. It came from everywhere and nowhere at once. The speaker was a tall creature with silver skin and 4 arms. This was High Arbiter, the most powerful judge in the known galaxy. His species, had created the Galactic Federation 10,000 years ago. They believed themselves to be the most civilized beings in existence. They believed they had the right to judge all others. Human designation Cole said. His voice was cold and without emotion. You stand accused of the murder of Ambassador Al of the Collective. You were found standing over his body with his blood on your hands. 17 witnesses saw you commit this act. How do you answer these charges? Lifted his head. His eyes were tired but not defeated. He had been in their prison for 3 months. They had questioned him every day. They had not given him proper food or water. They had kept him in a cell designed for a species that did not need light. But still, he had not broken. Still, he had not confessed to something he did not do. I am innocent, said. His voice echoed in the massive chamber. I did not kill Ambassador Al. I tried to save him. Someone else attacked him. I found him dying and tried to help. That is why his blood was on my hands. I was trying to stop the bleeding. I was trying to keep him alive until help arrived. Laughter rippled through the chamber. It was not kind laughter. It was the sound of beings who thought they were hearing a lie from a primitive creature. Saw some of them pointing at him and making gestures he did not understand. He knew they were mocking him. Raised one of his 4 hands, the laughter stopped immediately. You claim innocence, yet the evidence says otherwise. The collective demands justice. Your species is young and violent. Your history is filled with war and bloodshed. It is in your nature to kill. Perhaps you cannot help what you are. Felt anger rise in his chest. He had heard this argument many times. The aliens saw humans as dangerous animals. They had only discovered humanity 50 years ago. In that time, humans had tried to prove they were worthy of joining the galactic community. They had shared knowledge. They had offered friendship. They had sent their best and to learn about the stars. But many species still feared them. Many species still believed humans belonged in cages, not among civilized beings. My species may have a violent history, said, but we also have a history of justice, of protecting the innocent, of fighting for what is right. We have heroes who gave their lives so others could live. We have laws that protect the weak from the strong. I did not kill anyone. I could never kill anyone. Enough, said. The evidence is clear. This court finds you guilty of murder. The sentence is death. You will be executed at sunrise tomorrow. May whatever gods your primitive species believes in have mercy on you. Closed his eyes. He had expected this outcome. He had known from the beginning that they would never believe him. To them, he was just a human, just a savage from a primitive world. His testimony meant nothing. His innocence meant nothing. The only thing that mattered was that someone had to pay for the ambassador's death, and a human was the perfect choice. But then something strange happened. The floor beneath began to shake. A low humming sound filled the chamber. It started quiet but grew louder with each passing second. The blue lights in his chains flickered and died. The chains fell from his wrists and clattered to the ground. The aliens above him began to shout in confusion and fear. Guards rushed toward with weapons drawn. Their weapons were set to kill, not stun. They would shoot him dead if he moved. But before they could reach him, the floor in front of him split open with a tremendous crack. Light poured out of the crack in the floor. It was golden and warm, unlike anything had ever seen. The light was so bright that everyone in the chamber had to shield their eyes. Some of the aliens screamed. Others fell to their knees in what looked like prayer. Something rose from the opening in the floor. It was an object about the size of a human head. It floated in the air, spinning slowly. The object was made of a material that seemed to shift and change. Sometimes it looked like metal. Sometimes it looked like stone. Sometimes it looked like pure light. Ancient symbols moved across its surface like living things. The chamber fell completely silent, even looked shocked. His silver face had turned pale. His four hands trembled at his sides. "The artifact of ages," someone whispered. The words spread through the chamber like wildfire. "It has awakened. After all this time, it has awakened." Stared at the floating object. He did not know what it was. He did not understand why everyone seemed so frightened. He only knew that something important was happening, something that went beyond his trial and his life. Stepped forward. His usual confidence was gone. His voice trembled when he spoke. "This is impossible. The artifact has been dormant for 12,000 years. It has not responded to anyone since the first ones disappeared. We have tried everything to wake it. We have brought the greatest minds and the souls. It rejected them all." The artifact continued to spin. Then it moved. It floated toward. The guards tried to stop it, but their weapons passed through it like it was made of smoke. Energy blasts meant to destroy ships did nothing. It moved with purpose and determination. The artifact stopped directly in front of it. It hovered at eye level, could feel warmth coming from it. He could hear something like a heartbeat inside it. It felt alive. It felt ancient. It felt kind. Then the artifact spoke. Its voice was like a chorus of thousands speaking at once. Men and women and children and beings that were none of these things. It filled every corner of the chamber. It filled his mind. "We have waited long for one such as this. We have searched across time and space. We have watched civilizations rise and fall. We have seen justice corrupted and truth buried beneath lies and politics. But now, at last, we have found what we sought. At last, our search is over." The artifact's glow intensified. Felt something touch his forehead. It was not painful. It was like a gentle hand brushing his thoughts. It was like being welcomed home after a long journey. "This being speaks truth," the artifact continued. "He did not commit the crime for which he stands accused. He tried to prevent a death, not cause one. His heart is pure. His intentions are noble. He is everything we have been searching for." Stepped forward. "Artifact of ages, we respect your power, but we have evidence. We have witnesses. The human must be guilty. His kind are violent by nature." The artifact turned toward. Its voice became colder. "Your evidence was manufactured. Your witnesses were paid to lie. The true killer stands among you even now. He orchestrated this trial to start a war between your Federation and the human species. He wanted humans to be destroyed. He feared what they might become." Gasps filled the chamber. Aliens looked at each other with suspicion and fear. "Show us," demanded. The artifact pulsed with light. Images appeared in the air above. They showed the real events of that terrible night. They showed an official meeting with unknown figures in dark robes. They showed him hearing assassins from the Outer Rim. They showed the assassination of Ambassador Al in exact detail. They showed arriving too late, finding the dying ambassador, pressing his hands against the wounds, begging him to hold on. The real killer was there in the chamber. His name was Counselor. He was one of his own advisors. When the images revealed his face, chaos erupted. Guards seized before he could escape. He screamed denials, but the artifact's images were impossible to deny. The truth was there for everyone to see. Looked at with new eyes, there was shame in his expression, his silver skin flushed with embarrassment. Human Cole, it appears a grave injustice has been done to you. This court apologizes for. We are not finished, the artifact interrupted. The chamber fell silent again. Everyone watched as the artifact moved even closer to. Its light wrapped around him like a protective blanket. For 12,000 years we have searched for a being worthy of our gift. We were created by the first ones to find the bearer of justice. This being must have a pure heart. They must have courage that does not break. They must be willing to suffer for truth. They must never give up hope, even when all seems lost, even when death waits at sunrise. The artifact began to orbit around slowly. Its light wrapped around him like a cloak made of stars. We have tested billions of beings across 1,000 worlds. We have watched empires and examined their leaders. We have studied the greatest minds and the most powerful warriors. None of them were worthy. Their hearts were corrupt. Their courage was fake. But this human, this Cole from the young world called Earth, he alone has passed our test. Found his voice. What test? I did not take any test. Your test began the moment you were arrested. You could have lied. You could have tried to escape. You could have given up hope. You could have confessed to save yourself from torture. Instead, you maintained your innocence. You spoke truth even when no one believed you. You showed courage even when facing death. You kept your humanity even when they tried to strip it from you. You are worthy. The artifact touched his chest. Golden light flowed into him like water filling an empty vessel. He felt power unlike anything he had ever imagined. He felt knowledge pouring into his mind. He felt connected to something vast and ancient and good. He felt the hopes of beings long dead. He felt the dreams of the first ones. Rise, Cole of Earth. Rise as the bearer of justice. You now carry our power. You will be able to see truth where others see only lies. You will be able to protect the innocent and expose the guilty. No deception will work against you. No corruption will stand before you. This is your destiny. Looked at his hands. They glowed with faint golden light. He felt different. He felt stronger. He felt like he had been sleeping his entire life and had just woken up. The universe looked different now. He could see truth like other people see colors. And every other being in the chamber knelt, even the guards, even the prisoners, even those who had laughed at him moments ago. They all bowed before. The bearer of justice has been chosen, said. His voice was humble now. The prophecies of the first ones have been fulfilled. A new age begins this day. Looked around the chamber. He saw hope in some faces. He saw fear in others. He understood now why the first ones had chosen to give this power to someone from outside the established galactic order. The Federation had become corrupt. They needed someone who would not play their political games, someone who cared only about truth, someone who would judge all beings equally. I did not ask for this power, said, but I will use it wisely. I will use it to protect those who cannot protect themselves. I will use it to expose those who hide behind lies and manipulation. Justice will be blind to species and status. The innocent will be protected. The guilty will answer for their crimes. This I promise. The artifact spoke one final time before it merged with his heart forever. The first ones chose well. Humanity is young, but in that youth lies purity. They have not yet learned the corruption of ancient civilizations. They still believe in heroes. They still believe in justice. They still dream of better tomorrows. Perhaps that is why the universe sent them to us at this moment in history. As walked out of the chamber, no longer a prisoner but something far greater, he thought about his people back on Earth. They had always dreamed of exploring the stars. They had always hoped to find their place in the universe. Now, through him, they had found something even more important. They had found a purpose that would echo through eternity. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. They were no longer the young and primitive species to be feared or dismissed. They were the species that had given the universe its bearer of justice. And Cole, a simple man who had only wanted to help a dying stranger, would make sure that gift meant something. He would make sure the first ones had not waited 12,000 years in vain. Justice had been sleeping for 12,000 years. Now it was awake, and it wore a human face. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter as looked up at them. A new age had begun.